All right. God fucking damn it.
Oh, man. This is going to be fun.
I'm so not ready. Welcome back to Talkin Wrasslin. I'm Lyssie, your host for the week. I'm joined here with Dylan, your co-host for the week.
Hello.
I feel like shit today.
Man. I have like a WrestleMania hangover. I don't have like a hangover, but I have a WrestleMania hangover.
I don't even know if it's a WrestleMania hangover. I just woke up this morning at 6 a.m. In excruciating pain, and I was not able to go back to bed. So it's almost 2 o'clock now as we're recording this, so I'm just like not here in any capacity. My body started feeling a little bit better as the day kind of went on. But I just woke up extremely fucking sore. So that's fucking cool. We have a lot to talk about. But
it's going to be a two-part episode.
Yeah, I was just getting to that. So because we have so much to talk about, we're going to be splitting this up into two parts. So this part that we're going to be talking about and the stuff we'll be talking about in this episode, we will not be talking about Mania.
No.
Mania is going to be completely part 2, which will be out some other time this week, probably Thursday.
Probably. I'm
aiming for. Typically when we do these two parts, which we only did it before, but I liked the way that we did Tuesday and Thursday. So it should be out on Thursday. It's Monday as we're recording this now, because there was no way we were going to be doing this before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Before WrestleMania night too, because typically we record on Sundays. So I'll just do a very quick briefing of what we're going to go into today. We're going to be talking about some stuff that had, just happened over the week. So i.e. like the WWE documentaries and whatnot. The Dark Side of the Ring documentary. And we're talking about some stuff that happened in wrestling news because, Jesus fucking Christ, there's so fucking much.
It was a news-filled weekend.
We'll be talking a bit about Raw. Apparently, we're talking about WWE Speed, a bit about Dynamite, a bit about Bloodsport, a bit about Spring Break, a bit about the Clusterfuck, a bit about NXT Stand and Deliver, the Hall of Fame from WWE and the Indies, and then the Wrestler of the Week.
We got a lot.
Oh my god. Okay, Dylan, will you tell me about how your week is? Can you hand me my bubbly over there?
Not a little bit of the bubbly.
A little bit of the bubbly, but we're not talking about champagne. We're talking about the sparkling water drink because they're delicious.
We're not sponsored.
Not sponsored. Never will be. Probably ever. But Dylan, how was your week?
My week was pretty good. I just wanted it to get over with to the weekend for WrestleMania. I'm just trying to keep it short because we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, the week in itself is stressful, the week of Mania, because there's just so fucking much that happens and so much that you have to catch up on. To preference, we did not catch Rampage and we did not catch Collision.
And also, we'll just put it here. Congratulations, Mark Briscoe, on winning the Ring of Honor title. I forgot to add that there, so we'll just put that there right now.
We did not catch Ring of Honor either.
Yeah, we didn't catch Ring of Honor.
There was just so fucking much that was going on. So, we saw some stuff on Twitter and whatnot and got kept up to date. But sitting and watching, didn't get through all of it. However, yeah, it was just a wild fucking week for wrestling.
How was your week?
Same. I mean, it was pretty much that, just wild fucking week. I mean, I worked talking about wrestling all fucking week long, pretty much with my coworkers. And yeah, just very, very overwhelmed. Excuse me. All right. I guess with that being said, we're just gonna jump into this. So
yeah, we're jumping in.
Let's start this off with the WWE Rivals episode. Brian Danielson versus The Miz.
It was a good rivalry.
God, I hate The Miz.
Of my teen years, my preteen to teenage years. Who would have thought that Daniel Bryan's biggest rival in WWE would have been The Miz? I
mean, I do like what they did with the storyline for it of just the guy from the Indies that has infinite more talent and what's the word I'm looking for? Experience than The Miz.
Yeah.
Like the wrestler's wrestler versus this gimmicky sports entertainment prick. So like obviously it was a smart pairing and they bounced really well off of each other. They worked really well off of each other and everything. I just don't like The Miz, so it was also kind of one of those things where like I said a couple episodes back, I didn't understand the hype behind Daniel Bryan at all when he showed up in WWE. So I didn't care about The Miz. I didn't really care about Daniel Bryan. So it was one of those things that has just like escaped my memory. But now looking back through the Rivals documentary, like it was fucking brilliant. And I can't believe I was such a stupid fucking kid and didn't realize it at the time.
It was a really good rivalry.
Anything else you want to add on to this? Because, I know we're trying to keep things short, but are we really only going to keep them to a few minutes?
I mean, we can go long on some things. There's some things that we're going to lose track of time on, but, like, no, it was a really good rivalry. I always enjoyed it. It was always just wild that The Miz was Daniel Bryan's pro.
Yeah. I feel like Daniel Bryan has charisma in his own right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It might not be the over-the-top Miz charisma, but he's just a guy's guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I like about him, so. Okay, I guess we'll just move on. Let's go into the WWE A&E Legends about Roman Reigns.
Acknowledge.
No.
Throw the ones up.
I'm not throwing my ones up.
Not throwing the ones up?
No, I'm not. I'm still to this day not going to acknowledge Roman Reigns. I will never acknowledge Roman Reigns.
You did last night.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
I acknowledged Cody Rhodes because I put up the Too Sweet.
Oh my god.
But
Mark.
Shut the fuck up. Okay, so I have a couple not really mixed feelings about this documentary. Overall, it was a good documentary. There was just one thing that kind of, like, I don't want to say it didn't sit well with me, but just kind of felt a little odd. Which maybe going down, like, if I rewatch this documentary in, like, 5 years, won't feel as weird just because this came out right before Mania. It did feel a little pluggy for WrestleMania 40, which I, like on occasion, like, there would, they'd be talking about and be like, oh, well, with WrestleMania 40 coming up and it being the biggest WrestleMania ever and whatnot, like, there was just enough in there, enough frequent times that kind of made me feel like, okay, like, I get it, but, like, this feels very pluggy right now, but again, maybe as it ages in 5 years' time, going back and rewatching it, it won't feel that way, and it will just quite literally feel like the documentary before the WrestleMania type of thing.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is probably what they were trying to convey with it, just to me it felt a little eh. But, I mean, nonetheless, it was a very good documentary, and I don't necessarily think that Roman doesn't deserve it or anything like that. It's just crazy that you go through all of these legend documentaries and the last one is Roman.
They usually tend to do that.
Which is crazy. But no, I mean, it was a very good documentary, and I enjoyed learning a little bit more about him and about, like, his upbringing and everything and all that fun, fancy horse shit and stuff. So yeah, how did you feel about the Roman Reigns documentary?
I mean, I'm a mark for the Samoan dynasty, the whole bloodline. Like, it holds a place in my heart only because, well, when I was in wrestling school, literally I got first glance into, like, that family and everything. So it always holds a special place to my heart and everything. And man, I just think if you're a fucking Samoan, you can wrestle.
It's somewhere in the blood, man. It really is.
It's somewhere. Like, you can just wrestle.
Somewhere.
It's somewhere, but
never grow up to be a banker or, like,
nope.
a telemarketer or a lawyer or a doctor.
Like,
no, you're just a wrestler.
You're gonna be in the WWE.
Yeah, you're not working cashier at a fucking retail store. You're just immediately in the WWE. That's just how it happens.
That's literally how it happens when you're part of that family. Which, I mean, when you look at that lineage of the family from High Chief Peter Maivia to Rocky Johnson to The Rock to Rikishi to Roman Reigns and everywhere in between, and soon enough, more than likely, Jacob Fatu, the next one to join. So
maybe, I don't know. I mean, they said he signed with WWE. I was expecting him to. Well, I guess we won't go too much into that.
Yeah, we won't go too much into that.
But maybe we'll see him sooner than we think. I don't know.
But I enjoyed it. It's a good documentary.
Yeah, no, again,
very
overall,
well put together.
Very good documentary. That was just my one little nitpick about it, but again, I'm sure it'll age fine.
I didn't know, like, he was, like, when he was in remission for his leukemia. I didn't know if, like, he has to take, like, some sort of special medicine.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he didn't. I don't think they necessarily specified it in the documentary. I don't know if he had to take it the first time. It seemed like it was only the second time when it came back.
Yeah.
So maybe because he had it reoccurring.
Yeah.
That's why they were like, okay, here you go. This is yours forever now, unfortunately.
That's just still crazy. Like, I never knew he battled with leukemia until that one episode of Monday Night Raw, which, by the way, one of the in recent memory, I mean, we've had some really good Raws as of late, but like before this whole new era of WWE began, like one of the best Monday Night Raws of, I guess we'll just call it the PG era, was the episode where Roman comes out. He just won the Universal title, but he has to vacate it because he has leukemia. And then Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose win the tag titles later that night, and Dean turns on Seth. Like, it was such a really well put together 3-hour episode of Raw for that time period. So it's just crazy. Like, I never knew he was battling leukemia until like that episode of Raw.
Well, I mean, he even said it in the documentary. Like, he kept it well hidden.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, which, I mean, I guess that's fair because, like, I mean, you could do it, I guess, but like, you're really gonna want to go out there and be like when you're first getting on the main roster and being like, I'm Roman Reigns and I am a leukemia survivor.
Yeah.
Like, is that really how you want to start this off? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially with like with them being introduced as the Shield. That's not really the
right.
You know, so they did a good job at keeping it well hidden, and you know, unfortunately that came back, but of course he's okay now. And, you know, that's fantastic. So I will say this much, even though I'm not the biggest Roman Reigns fan, and I will say he is my least favorite member of the Shield. You know, he's well deserving enough. Like, he really was given the absolute worst fucking hand by WWE. Like, they really, really, really just made, like, they tried so hard to make you like him, and it made you hate him, and he was not really comfortable doing what he was doing, and even though he was very clearly not comfortable doing what he was doing, they were still pushing this narrative, and, you know, he was fighting himself on it and everything, and, like, he was really dealt, like, a shit fucking hand, and I'm glad that he was able to overcome it and do what he was doing and did, and is maybe gonna continue to be doing with the bloodline. I mean, of course, yeah, it is his best work that he's ever done. It's the, I mean, in my opinion, no tea, no shade, it's kind of the only good thing he has done. So it's, you know, it's kind of just not the biggest comparison to his previous work. But yeah, like, he was able to come back and do a 180 from it. And, you know, that is commendable. So, good on him for that part and everything. And, anything else you want to say about this point?
I acknowledge you, Roman Reigns.
Okay, well, anyway, moving on to another documentary. The Bray Wyatt documentary.
Yes.
So... It
was really good.
Sad.
And
so sad.
Very well put together.
So fucking sad, dude.
Man, it's just a shame. It's just a shame. Like, we'll get into the Hall of Fame later, but, man, he should have been there. He should have been up there with Bo Dallas, inducting his dad and uncle.
I think even Seth Rollins was, like, in the documentary saying, like, yeah, no, I just wasn't believing it. Yeah. Like, people were telling me, and I was like, no, you're lying.
Yeah.
Like, that's not real.
It's still hard to believe to this day. Like, it's just...
It doesn't feel right. Like, it doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel right. Like, it just... It seems like a storyline that he's trying to pull on us, and like in a year or so he's gonna show up and like resurrect himself or something, you know, like it just seems like some final master plan, but it's not, of course.
I think this is what he would have wanted, though.
Yeah, and I mean, they did a really good job in the documentary, and they were really respectful and everything, and even though like they did go into like, you know, when he was released and then coming back, and like I know like Triple H was there talking about like, you know, he was a difficult guy to work with on his creative ideas because he just had so many of them, and it was hard to kind of take his grandiose ideas and simplify them enough to be televised type of thing. But I feel like the way that they still like that they even discussed it was respectable. Like they weren't just like, But yeah, we released him because he was a fucking jerk. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it wasn't anything like that. They were.
And then the whole, like, it was cool seeing, like, the behind the scenes stuff of, like, the creation of The Fiend. And,
Yeah,
like,
the guy who, like, made the masks and
Yeah.
the suits and everything. And
even just, like, being, the backstage stuff, too,
Mhm.
of, like when he was doing the Burnt Fiend thing, and he was like, I don't know if this is gonna work.
He's like, man, this sucks.
Yeah, like, I don't know if this is gonna work, and then, like, just seeing his final creation.
Yeah, which was really cool.
Was really cool. Of, like,
and
this
learning that there was
parting gift.
Easter eggs in all of his gears too, like
Yeah.
with the stitches were like made to look like Roman numerals for a date and everything, and
Yeah.
that there was like names of his kids and the pinstripes and everything. Like
Yeah.
that was really cool. And I really do think that if WWE doesn't just like start pushing Bo fucking Dallas, that they're fumbling very fucking hard. So I'm hoping that, you know, with this, that Bo Dallas can continue the legacy of Bray Wyatt
Yes.
further, because I mean, it's if they don't, that's fucked on their part, but we'll see. You know, only time's really gonna tell. Going into the last part of this segment before we get into some of the wrestling news that's gonna drive my head through a fucking wall. The Dark Side of the Ring episode about a Harley Race. I'm gonna be honest, because there's been so much that happened this week. Again, I do not remember too much about this aside from it basically being an episode of Jim Cornette's podcast. And him just being like, Harley Race was a bad motherfucker. Like, I mean, that was
yeah,
that was the whole thing.
That was the whole thing. Harley Race
took away from this.
A legend of the business and a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, and also
don't fuck with him.
Mick Foley saying that, like, you know, people are still stealing or taking from Harley Race even if they don't know it, type of thing. So.
Harley Race, a fucking innovator of a lot of things. And funny story, there is one infamous, like, interview out there. Harley fucking hates that he created the flying headbutt.
Oh, really?
He hates it because of Benoit and what happened to Danielson. Like, he's just like, he goes, if there's one thing I wish I could redo is never recreating the flying headbutt.
Oh, and also the story about him outside someone's house with a machine gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking insane.
Harley Race is a bad motherfucker.
So, yeah, I mean, it was a good episode. I remember enjoying it. It's just with the amount of information that has been put into my noggin over this week, it's something always falls, and for some reason, it's always the Dark Side of the Ring episodes always fall out of my brain. Okay, so let's go into the wrestling news. You're gonna pop off about this, so while you do,
how about you start with this one first, because we can combine these two. You know what I mean?
So do you want me to do 2, 4, and then 1 and 3?
No. Just do the releases first, and then we'll go into the interview, and then we can segue into this, because that's pretty much a continuation of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so anyway, let's skip a little bit. So going to wrestling news. We're going to be talking about the AEW releases, along with Matt Hardy being a free agent. Dylan, I'll let you go because I want a sip of my bubbly.
Oh, God, man.
I don't have a table near me, and it is in a can.
My God.
I mean, I can try to hold it, I guess, but, you know.
No, I'm saying my God to the AEW releases, because that was just a shit storm to begin with. So they just randomly... So Punk... We'll get into the Punk interview, but Punk does this interview, blah, blah, blah. And then AEW releases a bunch of fucking people. There's a whole drama with Dalton Castle's boys. They put AEW on blast. What else fucking happened? Slim J was working for AEW or Ring of Honor or whatever, and he had to work a second job, so he wasn't even getting paid enough. And then the one Workhorseman guy got released while he's injured, and then everyone bullied Tony Khan into rehiring him. And Matt Hardy is no longer in AEW, supposedly.
Yeah, his contract
he's a free agent. I just summed it up very well. Releases suck in wrestling.
I don't think the CM Punk interview had anything to do with this, if I'm going to be completely fucking honest with you.
Releases suck in wrestling, regardless. The way Tony went about it, not good. The people that he released because they were injured and working second, yeah, not good.
Here's the thing, right?
Not good.
And this might sound like a fucking shitty way to put it. Now, granted, I agree. Releasing somebody while they're injured isn't good. If you're not going to use them, just let them use up their contract and then let their contract expire, type of thing, right? You know what I mean? I mean, it still sucks.
Which, mind you, sorry to cut you off, but mind you, Tony, when AEW started, said that he would never release anyone.
Yeah.
So,
I'm wondering. I remember. I think I saw something online saying that he was releasing people to bring in like larger talent type of thing.
it was some. I think was the term budget cuts or was it not?
I don't know if I necessarily heard budget cuts.
I forget what the term they used was.
I don't know, but I have a theory that maybe they released a handful of people that were cluttering up their roster that they weren't using, and
they don't release Paige Van Zant.
I don't fucking know, dog. And probably, honestly, to bring in Motor City Machine Guns.
Probably.
If I have any thought in my brain, or maybe something to do with a new Jack Perry contract, who knows?
Who fucking knows?
But, again, I don't want this to sound like shitty, because I don't agree with releasing somebody while they're injured in the slightest. Just, again, let their contract expire, whatever. But, however, I mean, the roster is extremely fucking cluttered.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people on that roster that don't get used.
Yeah.
That we don't see.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not saying that they're not talented. I'm not saying that there aren't people on this roster that aren't talented that should be used. I would fucking give my left leg to see John Morrison put in the fucking spotlight. Like, for just a solid storyline. Just, you have him. Just use him.
The thing is, the people that he released, yeah, aren't people that were barely used. But every time watching their work, because I've seen all these people that were released, watching their work, they work their asses off. No matter how much time they're given, no matter what they're doing, why not release Miro?
Yeah.
Or if the rumors are true of House of Black wanting to be out, why not House of Black? And I like Miro. I like House of Black. You should fucking release Max Caster. We'll get into that in a little bit. You should release Billy Gunn too, but...
I mean, I've definitely lost some respect for Miro, not gonna lie. He's a great wrestler.
But, like, release people that, you know, are giving you a hard time. I don't know.
Yeah, like, I think that it's tough because it's like, you want to see the young, upcoming talent have that opportunity and do the damn thing. And I agree with that. But, I mean, just look, I hate to say it this way because I feel shitty saying it, but just kind of look at the basic facts of how AEW is right now, is the people that got cut, aside from, like, the Workhorseman guy, because we have seen the Workhorseman frequently enough on TV.
Well, the boys were being in a prominent role on Ring of Honor with the whole Dalton Castle Johnny TV thing.
I mean, that's true too.
They were gonna do, well, they did the match, but there was a big payoff at Supercard of Honor with it and everything. So, but they got released literally the week before the show. It's
just like people that, for whatever reason, Tony wasn't really using to their full potential, wasn't using enough. And again, the reality of it is, yeah, should Chris Jericho probably go the fuck away?
Yeah.
Yeah, should Max Caster probably go the fuck away? Yeah. Should Miro probably go the fuck away? Yeah. But unfortunately for AEW, if you look at those three names in comparison to the names of the people that were released, it's night and day with the way that they're presented. So, no, Tony's not going to be releasing Max Caster or Jericho or Miro, if they are causing issues and problems and this, that, and the other thing, because they're larger names. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude about this, but if we just took Max Caster and fired him and then replaced him with Slim J, like, is that gonna work? Are people gonna be like, what the I mean, it might.
Yes.
He honestly, I think he kind of was falling into that type of vibe.
Yes.
So it might have worked. But, like, the thing is, like, we know why we don't like Max Caster. We know why a lot of the fans don't like Max Caster. But, like, it's, I'm sure, drawn something, as opposed to, unfortunately, again, the people that they don't really know the names of, that they don't see often, that haven't gotten that chance. And it is Tony's responsibility to give those people that chance. 100%. It's not their fault it's not their talent's fault for working their ass off and not getting the recognition, unless they just really fucking suck. It's Tony's fault for not giving them that recognition. So, it's a give and a take. But again, it's so overbloated, they're not going to release the big names.
But just remember.
Unless, I don't even know. I could say unless the big names really do something fucking shitty, they could have fucking released Sammy.
Yeah.
And Sammy's just been a fucking problem.
But, yeah, that was another one of following. Why don't you release Sammy? But that's also, just remember, people. Paige Van Zant, who only wrestled once, 2 years ago, still has a contract.
I'm wondering why I don't know, but I don't know. Anyway, I do want to just touch on this a little bit. I'll get heat for this. It's fine. I don't really care, because I already made a Twitter post about it saying I'm probably going to get heat for this. I see a lot of fucking slander about Matt Hardy. I don't know why. I genuinely don't know if Matt Hardy has ever actually done something wrong.
I don't think so.
Or if people just think he's cringy.
I think he's falling under that crap. And it's weird. I'm not bothered by Matt Hardy. And that's just maybe because I always loved the Hardy Boys, mm-hmm. So it's hard for me to hate them, even though how many times Jeff fucks up. But I think he just falls under the line of, and FTR's kind of falling under that line now of sucking Tony's dick.
Look, Matt Hardy,
you're working. I can understand it. You're working for a company. You're gonna cheer for that company,
and that's fine. And the thing is, Matt Hardy, as of since his free agency has happened, I went on his Twitter just to see it. I don't know if he's trolling, because we don't know what's going on with Matt Hardy, and we don't know what's going on with Jeff. But I don't know if he's just trolling or not. But he's sharing WrestleMania shit.
Yeah,
WrestleMania stuff.
He was at Raw a few weeks ago.
Yeah, which again is fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
I listened to his podcast. How he got to Raw was one of Rebby's friends had tickets, and they were box seats, and they were like, "Yeah, let's go, because it's box seats. We won't get noticed." Well, they got noticed.
What a stupid idiot.
They got noticed.
But yeah, no, I guess it's just people think that Matt Hardy's annoying or a boomer or whatever. I don't really know. Again, I don't think he's necessarily ever legitimately actually done something wrong. So my biggest thing about Matt Hardy being a free agent is, I just hope wherever he goes, if he re-signs, if they end up coming to a contract deal and he re-signs with AEW, cool. If he ends up going back to WWE with Jeff, that's also cool. I just want him to be happy wherever the fuck he goes. Matt Hardy is always going to have a very special place in my heart, as will Jeff. But again, as I've stated multiple times, I'm very biased towards Matt. I liked Matt over Jeff. And, I just hope wherever he is, they treat him well. He's not what he used to be. And I maybe that's also another thing, is people are just stop trying to make the Hardy Boys happen in 2024. The Hardy Boys aren't going to happen in 2024. And I get that. Again, they're definitely not what they used to be. But nonetheless, even if they can't go like they could in the ring, they're still veterans, and they still have a plethora of knowledge to teach
They got teeth.
to the younger wrestlers and the younger upcoming tag teams. So nonetheless, they are still very crucial to have in any sort of locker room. So Matt, wherever you end up, love you always. And I hope that if you end up back in the WWE, God, I fucking hope you and Jeff get into the goddamn Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking deserved. However, moving on from that, with someone who I don't believe deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, CM Punk.
He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Shut the fuck up. Shut up.
Oh, come on. I gotta be a little bit of a dick. CM Punk went on an interview with
Ariel.
The Little Mermaid.
Ariel.
The Little Mermaid. The little redhead mermaid.
The MMA hour.
The mermaid hour. I'm sorry. Okay, look. When we were watching this interview before we got to the Punk part, because he was talking about, I guess, some of the MMA guys. I don't know.
Oh, Jesus fuck. And they just
the whole time I'm sitting there and I'm like, was his parents a big fan of Disney? Why did he get this name? I don't know.
I don't know.
And I don't even really feel bad about being a jerk about it, because I feel like he's kind of a dick. But, so, whatever. I'll have beef with him. I don't care.
I mean, everyone does.
Yeah, it's I'm no one new, I guess.
It's fucking Ariel Helwani. Who gives a fuck?
So yeah, CM Punk went on the MMA Hour with the Little Mermaid, and he decided to...
He spoke his mind.
He decided to open his stupid fucking mouth.
He spoke his mind.
He always does.
He said things, and it caused a lot of controversy, because of course it does, because it's CM Punk. It's controversy Montgomery Punk. Well, we don't know what's true. We weren't there. No one was there besides the people that were there. But let's just say, allegedly, he exposed AEW. But if you do a lot of connecting of the dots on a lot of things, especially the releases this week of With the Boys and their text messages that they shared with AEW management. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I just saw a Notes app thing.
There was a Notes app thing, but in the comments they posted the conversations. Yeah, AEW's not good at communicating with people.
I mean, I get that.
They're not good at communicating with people. This kind of falls into the line of what we can go into next, which is they're going to show the All-In footage this week, supposedly.
Yeah, let's back up a little bit, because I have shit to say about CM Punk.
I don't want to go full in depth. I'm tired.
We're not going to go full in depth. But, I will just say this, is that, CM Punk started this whole ripple effect, essentially, going on to this interview. And
no, Jack Perry.
No. CM Punk started this whole fucking ripple effect, going on this interview and starting, essentially, a smear campaign towards AEW all fucking week.
Yes.
And, consistently taking shots on their pre-shows while Mania is about to happen in an hour, and he's still shit fucking talking. And, it's just been a constant all fucking week of shots and shots and shots and shots and shots and shots.
And the Elite have done it too.
I'm not saying the Elite haven't done it.
I'm just saying you gotta be the middleman.
What I am saying is, yeah, the Elite took shots when this thing happened. When everything fucking happened initially, when Punk got fired, sure, you want to call it a victory lap of them taking over Collision, sure, whatever. That was right after he got fired. You want to say they took shots when they came back from their suspension off him, sure, of course, yeah. That's kind of a given. It has been so fucking long since this shit happened, and I know that it was a big fucking thing, and oh my god, CM Punk is involved in it. We can have him on this interview where we can talk about it and whatnot. For someone who says that they want to stay out of drama so goddamn fucking much, to just bring this shit fucking back up when it's been well done and over with. I mean, if you do want to say anybody who's still been talking about this prior to
AEW's been talking about Punk for months. I'm just playing the middleman.
Where have they been talking about
on
Punk
all their shows?
Where?
They've been talking about Punk. They've been taking shots. I'm just playing the middleman here.
You
gotta call a spade a spade. Punk's doing it. The Elite.
Well, I don't recall any sort of attacks that they have been making towards Punk over the past few months.
Buckshot lariat. Them doing their current gimmick that they should have done with this whole thing.
I mean, I wouldn't say that their gimmick is necessarily inherently Punk.
The whole Chris Jericho is going to have an open challenge and it's Colt Cabana.
That wasn't these past couple of months. That was when this was, aside from the EVP.
The Collision victory lap.
Yes, that's okay. That's quite literally what I was just.
Hey, I'm just calling a spade
yes,
a spade
that's
here.
Quite. That's
AEW is not. The
Dylan.
Angels also here.
I know.
CM Punk and the Elite
both
are running their mouths.
Yeah, I'm aware. That's actually quite literally what I was just saying.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was.
No, you weren't.
I just said you could say their victory lap of taking back over Collision when he got fired.
Then you literally just said
yes
that I don't recall any time the Elite have said anything.
Yes, and I'm saying as in present time, as in before before this interview had happened. Okay, so, alright, so Punk got fired, Collision, their victory lap, whatever. Prior to that, the Elite come back from their suspension. They do the buckshot leg, they do the bite, they do the this, they do the that. Yeah, okay, that happened ages ago.
All of this happened ages ago.
A while ago. So what I'm saying is, them taking their little shots around each other when this initially happened, yeah, that's to be expected. However, then we come to current day. Punk, which we have not been discussing or shooting or whatever this whole fucking time. Punk comes on this interview, says this shit. Everyone fucking explodes. Then he's on the, fucking the pre-show for Mania at the little desk and whatnot, fucking taking shots, saying, "Oh, you like to fucking The Miz. Oh, you're gonna get a tattoo of the number of the attendance on your arm," when his wife has a fucking tattoo of her fucking title reigns on the back of her neck.
I never knew that.
Which is fucking, stupid on his part. He has a Pepsi logo tattooed on him. He has no right to talk about stupid tattoos. And I know a thing or two about stupid tattoos. I have a Taco Bell tattoo. So I know a thing or two about stupid fucking tattoos. I mean, there was just clips and clips and clips posted about just like little jabs that he's been taking all fucking week. Like this whole fucking week since his interview came out. Right? And yeah, if you want to argue that the EVP gimmick is, a Punk thing, I could see that. However, the EVP thing, to me, and I feel like what a lot of people take it as, is the way that the fans turned on the Bucks after the all out, brawl out, all in, whatever shit, where it transpired into this thing of these entitled EVPs, little jackasses, little fucking divas, little this, little that, running to reporters, doing this, doing that, consistently. They were not able to escape that after this whole situation had happened. And yeah, do I think that gimmick probably should have been brought around a little bit sooner? Absolutely do I. However, nonetheless, they're doing that now. So I would say that's more of a response in correlation to what had transpired from the situation with Punk, but I wouldn't say that they necessarily did that in the reason for just because of CM Punk. I think they did that because of the fans' reception, and the Bucks are always good with playing into the fans' reception and being like, okay, you think that we're like this? We're really going to show you how we can be like this.
Yeah, and they should have done this when they originally came back after their suspension.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree. I 100% agree that would have been the much better timing to have done it. But again, they
left money on the table with CMFTR versus the Elite.
I don't think that this was necessarily. I mean, the only thing that I really should call attention to is when they did first do the EVP thing, and they, were going into the feud with Sting and Darby, and they were making notes of oh, well, we love Sting, but we hate what he represents of these old wrestlers from the past coming in, thinking that they could just do whatever the fuck they said. That is the only thing that I could have drawn a correlation to more so. I think that this is more of a fan representation thing. But, I mean, that's the cool thing about wrestling, is you can have any sort of interpretation towards it. However, nonetheless, about my opinions on this whole thing, and why I think that this is just stupid and it didn't need to be brought back up again, but Punk decided to bring it back up again, the consequences of his own actions might bite him in the ass, because apparently AEW is going to be showing the all-in footage on Dynamite. And I don't know if I can make up my mind if this is a rib or not.
Yeah, I don't.
Because I don't trust the journalists.
Let's just put it this way. This whole thing is so fucking stupid that it is getting to it. Well, it's gotten to the point where now the footage that everyone's been clamoring to see is finally being released. 8 months later? It was August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. 8 months later. Why now? I understand why now, if you connect dots on things, because whatever. But why now? What is this gonna do for AEW besides maybe pop a rating? But I mean, when you're a fan of the Attitude Era like myself, why complain on that when other people have done it? But this is all silly. Both sides are fucking silly.
It is. It's something that shouldn't be here. It shouldn't still be a situation that we're talking about.
It shouldn't be a thing where we're getting to the point of, hey, we're gonna have our EVPs go out there and show this footage. Like, it's unless it's a fucking rib.
I feel like it's closer to a rib because
yeah, we shared our conspiracies together.
Yeah, so I think it's more so going to be a rib because they're saying like the match card photo or whatever says like the Young Bucks or Matthew and Nicholas Jackson show footage from All In or show the footage from All In and discuss it for the first time.
Now let's backtrack just a minute here so we can connect the dots of this. FTR and the Young Bucks Part 4 is official for Dynasty.
Yes.
So now go into...
So because that's going to be the match for Dynasty and they had a match at Wembley, I think what they're going to do is the footage they're going to be talking about for the first time, which I think, yeah, would quite literally might be the first time. Actually, now that I'm talking about this, I might be exposing myself as being wrong. Because...
We can be wrong about this whole conspiracy, and they can actually be showing CM Punk choking out Jack Perry or whatever the fuck.
Because they did kind of mention it after their match at Wembley, which what I thought was going to do is they were going to sit and discuss why they didn't shake FTR's hands, or just talk about the match in general, which might be a little bit more, whatever. However, after Wembley is when the Bucks and FTR teamed up. And there was the little backstage segments of them where they came up to FTR came up to them, and they're like, why the fuck didn't you shake our hands type of thing? And they're like, oh, well, we're just silly guys and just didn't do it or whatever. So, I mean, that's not necessarily them discussing it.
Or it's a whole recreation of what happened, but in sock puppets.
Or action figures.
Or it's
a video of Kenny Omega jorking
it. Because it's 2018.
They're jorking it.
He's jorking it.
But I don't know. I mean, there have been reports saying that, no, it is the all-in footage. It's not like they're not ribbing anybody. They are going to be showing the footage.
But that's coming from Mr. Dave and Brian.
Yeah, so it's not like... I don't trust it, you know what I mean? It can be... but it could also just be people fucking with them.
If you're gonna take some goof's word and have a 5-star match in front of an empty building, then go right ahead.
Okay, well, whatever. I just think...
Hey, he called Dave Meltzer a goof. You gotta agree there.
Whatever.
Dave Meltzer's a goof.
I mean, again, I think the whole fucking...
Just
attendance fucking shit is just fucking
Brian
stupid.
Alvarez. I don't want to hear Bully Ray talk about bias ever again.
That made me, like... That just pissed me off more than anything else that, like, he necessarily even went in about. Aside from just saying that contracts ruin professional wrestling or whatever. Guaranteed pay ruin professional wrestling, which is just fucking stupid. Because, yeah, then Hangman was right. You talk a lot about workers' rights, but you don't really show any of it. And
my favorite thing about the whole interview is Colt Cabana comes up to CM Punk. Hey, can we talk? I will not talk to you without a lawyer present. Which, honestly... I don't blame Punk for that.
Yeah, but he's also the same person saying that if you have a problem with me, come talk to me.
Yeah.
So it's just like he's...
But if your friend of all these years turned around and sued you for no literal reason because you shot on a company on a podcast and then is going to sue you because he's in trouble, yeah, I wouldn't want to talk to any person like that without a lawyer present because I don't fucking trust the motherfucker.
I mean, I don't even think I'd necessarily care about having a lawyer present, especially if I'm somewhere where there is camera footage. I would just simply say I'm not fucking talking to you.
But let's talk about
away. Like I don't want to speak to you. Goodbye.
Let's talk about other fucking problems here of supposedly Jack Perry's a piece of shit for cussing out Tony Schiavone.
If that's even true.
The way Tony was talking about it on his podcast seemed like he didn't really
see his podcast.
He didn't really want to talk about it. He was like, I really don't want to go into it. I don't really care, but I really don't want to talk about it. And he seemed kind of like I don't like it happened, and I don't really want to talk about it.
Or maybe he also just doesn't want to talk about it because there's already been enough shit brought to light because of this thing, and he doesn't want to throw his cap into it.
The mismanagement of everything, and it's just a whole fucking mess. It's been a mess since All Out.
Look, I'm not going to sit back here and I'm not necessarily going to be talking about the communications and what exactly is going on back there because I don't fucking work there. I don't know. So
Tony Khan needs someone to help him.
I do think that at the end of the day that, yeah, he does need somebody to help him out. And, you know, that is what it is. But again, at the end of the day, I don't work there, so I don't actually really know what the fuck's going on ever. And really nobody does. We just know what these people choose to tell us and if they want to tell us the truth or not.
It's a rental car. Go do that on Wednesdays.
I mean, yeah, honestly. But the thing is,
go do that on Wednesdays.
That's true though, is because Collision was a different vibe and was a different show, like, completely from what they presented on Dynamite. And that's fine, you know?
Yeah.
It's fine to have versatility. It is what it is. But, I mean, also, I just think that the tribalism that also ensued from Collision and Dynamite when it first came out, and there being tribalism in its own company, was just a fucking problem. And
that was a big mistake.
Clearly, I don't think it was the right decision. And I really also just don't think that CM Punk helped any of it, especially having shirts made that say I'm a Collision guy on them. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems stupid.
We're the Collision Cowboys, brother.
But, I mean, that's fine. You know, you're on that show predominantly. Like, stuff like that's fine. But, like, when you're trying to market towards the fans of, like, pick a side, like, you know, and I just feel like the Elite never really did that. You know, Hangman hasn't said shit about anything. You know, and
Hangman shows up for a month and then disappears for 6, so.
Well, I mean, that is what it is. That's his schedule. I'm not going to sit here and complain about it. I'm going to enjoy him when I see him. And, you know, he hasn't gone on any sort of record saying anything, this, that, or the other thing. He showed up, he called him out, and then he just shut the fuck up. Like, that's all he fucking did. So, I mean, you know, is what it is. However, if they do air the footage, cool. I mean, if they air the legitimate fucking footage,
that's gonna be wild.
Then clearly they have nothing to hide. Punk has something to hide.
We'll find out on this Wednesday's episode of Monday Nitro. I'm ready for it, I guess. Anyway, let's
yeah, let's go into a bigger piece of shit. Max Caster.
Man, fuck Max Caster. He's a piece of shit. So he sent out a tweet earlier this week saying that he supports Shining Polaris, and if you know about the Shining Polaris shit, or if you don't know, go listen to episode. What episode number is this?
That was 11.
So 12. go listen to episode 11. Because Shining Polaris is a piece of shit. But Max Caster is a piece of shit for just randomly tweeting that, because he's a piece of fucking shit. Him and Billy Gunn should both be fired, in my opinion, because Billy Gunn fucking sucks. He had a shit-ass match with Jay White on Wednesday. We'll get into that later. Anthony Bones is the only good one, but Max Caster is a piece of shit for a lot of reasons. Lissy, what do you think about Max Caster?
I don't understand him. So he's been on this, like, troll brigade on Twitter for, like, what feels like 10 years now. And I don't get it, because it's not like he's a heel.
He's a face.
You know, and I mean, not necessarily saying any of the stuff that he'd be saying would really be that okay if he was a heel, but it would be a little bit, you know, more understandable. Like, it's not like he's a heel just being a dick to people online and just trying to get heat. I quite literally just don't know what the fuck he's doing. He's just making himself look like a fucking asshole for no reason. And I mean, sweetie, if that's your gate for self-sabotage, then go for it. That's fine. Do whatever the fuck you want, I guess. But, like, I mean, the thing is, like, that was so rude of the people driving by our apartment. You know, like, I don't even remember what the fuck I was gonna say now. I mean, I just really like the Acclaimed. Like, I love the fucking Acclaimed. And I still have so much love for Anthony Bowens, because I think he's great. But, you know, I'm not even, like, tired of the gimmick. Like, you know, the gimmick is still fun and whatnot. It's just, like, now I feel like I don't want to cheer for them, and I feel like I don't want to enjoy them because of Max Caster. And Billy Gunn I could take neither here nor there. You know, is what it is. But, like, more specifically just because of Max Caster. Like, I just feel like I can't fucking enjoy this fucking group anymore, because he's just a slimy piece of shit, or at least he's acting like it online. And, you know, I get, like, trolling people on the internet and making people mad on the internet. I love making people mad on the internet, but I'm also not making people mad on the internet by supporting somebody who, like, abused a cat and stole someone's artwork to profit off of it, and also just saying that, like, you know, women suck and whatever.
Also, fuck you, Christine, for showing up at Mania if you were there. I hope you got your ass beat.
Yeah, I saw she was posting photos from Mania. People were reposting it. People were saying that they thought they saw her.
Well, and those people that saw her should have fucking said something, so all of you guys fucking suck, too.
So, I mean, look, I'm also just saying I'm not sure if, like, it might have been, like, I think I saw her, don't know, could have been somebody else type of thing.
Well, I'm just saying, if people did see her and were, like, within distance of her, of talking to her, and you did nothing, and you know about the situation, fuck you.
Yeah.
Because I don't care, I would have called that bitch out right in front of everyone. So everyone knew that she was there and what she did, and to make her feel uncomfortable, because she deserves everything about it.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree.
And Max Caster deserves to fucking be fired and not have a job and no longer wrestle and be working at fucking Burger King because he fucking sucks.
Yeah, I just don't know what the fuck his motive is.
Anyway.
Let's get into Raw.
Raw.
You just wrote down Bloodline Seth Cody saga.
Yeah, it was the continuation of the saga of the Bloodline, Seth and Cody, and the show ended with the Bloodline laying out Seth and Cody.
Oh yeah, it did happen, didn't it?
We get the culmination of everything at WrestleMania, so tune in for part 2 on that. This was just kind of like a little teaser to help everyone join in for part 2.
Yeah, we'll talk about it because I don't remember it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't.
Well, I just said they laid them out at the end of the episode.
That's all you're going to talk about with it?
I just said that. And I just said this was literally a teaser part for people to join part 2.
Okay. Well, I mean, you don't listen to me with anything I was saying about CM Punk, so I'm not going to listen to you about anything you're saying.
Yeah? Then why are we recording this?
I don't know, man. I'm so fucking tired. I don't know why the fuck you have us recording this.
Because we have to.
We don't have to, but...
We kind of do. Anyway.
WWE Speed, which if you're not sure what it is, no, it's not a drug. It is, but
it felt like a fucking drug watching it.
So... WWE decided that they're going to start doing 3-minute matches, only available on Twitter. For probably the next, 6 months, and then they're going to abandon it.
Probably.
But nonetheless, the first match was Ricochet versus Dragon Lee.
It was a good concept. It's a good concept.
It was fun.
It's fun. I enjoy that I can watch, a 3-minute match on my lunch break. It's different. And I like that they played into it, that it's different. You're not going to see a traditional wrestling match. It's 3 minutes. I thought they were going to fucking do a draw first match ever. Because Ricochet got the win with 3 seconds left. But, yeah, it's a 3-minute match. It kind of further proves that you don't need to have a 30-minute match all the time. You can have just quick 3-minute match and tell a really good story. And the story of this match was literally, let's just go out there and have a fast-paced fucking match. And that's what they did. And, I mean, if they get the right people to do it, like a Ricochet or a Dragon Lee, it'll work out fine.
I just think you're weak for the fact that you're oh, I can watch a 3-minute match on my lunch break. When I was working at Hot Topic and on my lunch break, I would have at least a 15-minute match going.
Well, I'm just saying, when you're on lunch, you can go on Twitter and it's there.
No, I know. You don't have to search for one or anything.
Well, especially my lunch is at 12. So as soon as I get outside to go on my lunch break, I can just go on Twitter and be like, oh, there it is, and watch it.
Oh, it's there.
Yeah, oh, look at that.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm yawning so much. I'm so tired. Anyway, yeah.
I forgot to add one more thing for the next thing for Dynamite, which is the Trent and Orange thing, so we can talk about that too. I forgot to add that down.
Okay, well, we'll talk about what the fuck the Jay White and Billy Gunn match was, because what the fuck was that?
That was so bad. It was garbage.
I don't
absolutely garbage.
Understand what we were trying to convey. I think it's better if you just watch the match and you just think that in the back of his head, Jay White was just behind the curtain going, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna be silly. And that's it. And it's not silly as in
Michaels and Hogan at SummerSlam.
Yeah, it's not it's silly as in there's goofy spots planned where Billy Gunn's just literally dragging Jay White around.
It is a 10-minute squash match.
It's just, I don't understand what it was for.
Me
Or
either.
why. Like, I mean, I don't know if it was just to make Billy Gunn look like this powerhouse of a fucking dude that, like, even someone like Jay White can't take down.
Jay White was once the leader of one of the biggest factions in professional wrestling, the Bullet Club, and he sold out Madison Square Garden and Tokyo Dome before, and now he's getting his ass kicked by, how old's Billy Gunn? 60?
I don't know.
A fucking 60-year-old roided up man?
I don't know. I mean, I just like to have hopes that Jay White's cool with it, and also that Jay White might just be in the mindset of, like, okay, we're almost completely out of this Acclaimed bullshit, so we just kind of have to get there to fully get out of it.
The Acclaimed and Chris Jericho is a nightmare blunt rotation.
Yeah, I think they're just, I think what just sucks is Jay White is just kind of stuck in this right now, and until they get out of it, he's kind of just in this weird limbo.
Unfortunately.
But I mean, even then without the Acclaimed, like them doing like their segments and whatnot, it does feel a lot better of like the Bullet Club Gold being back to what Bullet Club Gold was.
I'm just happy Juice Robinson is not a part of any of this. Don't ruin Juice Robinson.
Yeah, I hope he's okay.
Let him come back after this feud.
I sure fucking hope so. Or he comes back at like the end of it to help them like beat
No,
them
don't let him interact with the Acclaimed at all.
But nonetheless, yeah, I don't know why that was a thing. But yeah, let's talk about Trent Orange, because I have been fucking saying this for weeks now.
They finally pulled the trigger.
That Trent was gonna turn, and I'm so happy for heel Trent singles run.
He did it right in front of Sue.
Right in front of his own mom.
Right in front of his own mom.
Right in front of Sue, and she was like trying to hand him water halfway through the match too.
I mean, I have my own opinions on the best friends, whatever. But it was a cool way how they did it. They went for the hug, and Trent just fucking rocket kicked them. So, hopefully Trent comes out of this feud with Orange looking like $100 and beats Orange. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I love Trent. I mean, I like Orange too, but like I have a very big soft spot in my heart for Trent.
Trent's very underrated. He opened a lot of people's eyes in New Japan when he had a match against Kenny.
Yeah.
So Trent is very underrated. So we'll see what comes out of it.
Yeah, I'm excited, and I think he'll be a good heel.
Yeah.
I think he'll be a good heel. I have faith in him. Sounds like there's a lot of people outside. Sound like there's a lot of people out there.
Well, yeah, they're doing construction right by the bridge, remember?
Well, not even just that. I mean, the eclipse is supposed to hit us, like, full coverage pretty soon. Because I think partial coverage started about a half hour ago. If you haven't noticed that, it started getting a little darker in here. So, yeah, fun fact, before we get into the next thing, we are in the range of part of the eclipse, I guess. A pretty solid range.
Am I, like, the only person on the earth that's, like... I find it interesting, but am I, like, the only person, maybe besides you, like, that I'm, like, I'm not gonna go outside and watch this because, like, it's just gonna last 2 seconds?
Well, it's not gonna be 2 seconds. No, it's gonna be for a while.
It's gonna be...
Like, I mean, probably at least, like, an hour, give or take. It's gonna be completely dark.
I just remember when it happened a couple years ago.
Well, it was a different type of eclipse.
It was more hype.
Yeah.
Behind that one than this one.
I think that was a different type of eclipse, or that we didn't get as much of a range as we do here. Because, like, it wasn't dark when we got it last time, just the sky looked weird.
Because I remember, like, everyone on social media that day was just talking about the eclipse, and I was saying nothing about it. And I made a post saying, was there an eclipse or something today? Just joking about it, and people got mad, and I was like, everyone was talking about it. And that's the whole point.
I mean, I think it's cool because, like, you know, natural phenomenons and things that happen in the space, and space is weird and scary, and I love it.
I made Eclipse say the words I quit before.
Shut the fuck up.
That's funny.
But yeah, so probably people out there waiting to see the fucking eclipse happen, and they're gonna stare directly into it and blind themselves. So that's cool. Anyway, going into Bloodsport, Shayna Baszler versus Masha Slamovich, which I didn't get to see because I was at work. So you talk about this.
Bloodsport was really... There's the Shawn Michaels meme.
Oh my god, the Shawn Michaels meme is on our television.
He's typing the computer
right now.
He's typing on the computer. Anyway, Shayna Baszler versus Masha Slamovich from Bloodsport was really good. Bloodsport as a whole was really good. Nick Nemeth versus Speedball Mike Bailey was good as well. But Masha Slamovich and Shayna Baszler, that crowd came unglued, unhinged. They loved it. Shayna Baszler picked up the win by knocking out Masha Slamovich, just kicking her head in. And it was a really good match. I mean, it's a shoot fight, so it looks more like a struggle and everything like that. It's a fight. So Bloodsport's just cool. It's always a cool thing to watch over Mania weekend. They do it in a wrestling ring with no ropes, and it's just really cool. I like it. I always dug it. What do you think of Bloodsport? I know you didn't get to see it, but what do you think of the concept of Bloodsport?
I like the concept of it.
What did you think about them? I know we talked about it, but what did you think about, like, Shayna Baszler being there? And, like, I'm sure you saw, like, pictures. Like, CM Punk was there. Nia Jax was there. Braun Strowman was there. Like, like those people... those people that just strictly work on the indies and like GCW and all that, they got to wrestle in front of WWE guys.
Yeah, which is cool.
That's big. Like Nick Khan was there.
Yeah.
Like that's big for them. Like they got like that was kind of like, if you think about it, that could have been them being scouted.
Yeah, I mean, I just hope it doesn't turn into like, I mean, don't get me wrong, Nick Gage and Janela aren't fucking going to WWE or anything like that. So it's definitely for the people that aren't necessarily looking to stay on the indies.
CM Punk and Nick Gage met though.
Yeah, that's fucking hilarious. But yeah, definitely not like there for the people that are planning to stay on the indies and whatnot, which is, you know, I just always am like, oh god, I worry about stuff like that.
But I'm talking about like Matt Cardona, Jordan Oliver, maybe even like people like that.
I don't know if Matt Cardona's going back, dog.
His wife works there.
She does.
I can see him doing a little bit. I see him going back eventually, but I see him going back maybe in a few years when he is a bit older, kind of just like that, AJ Styles run. Not saying he's gonna win the WWE title, but like AJ did his whole career in Japan on the Indies and TNA, and then finally, in his older age of late 30s, early 40s, he's in WWE just. Not saying collecting a paycheck, but he's making that money.
Yeah.
So,
I still think so fucking often that AJ Styles was so close to going to AEW, and WWE was like, no, don't do that. We have big things for you, and then the big thing was Omos.
No, it was before that. The big thing was we got the Good Brothers.
Oh yeah, the Good Brothers. Right.
You can team with the Good Brothers.
Yeah, but the Good Brothers were in AEW.
They left. Yeah. They left a few months later and went to AEW.
Yeah, and then AJ's like, "Holy shit! What did I just do?"
Well, also AJ was he was also a part of that feud with right before it was with Daniel Bryan when Daniel Bryan became the Planet's champion. So AJ was cooking, and he had a match with Randy Orton at Mania. So. He made out good for himself, but AJ...
I just think about that a lot.
Yeah, no, it's just funny. There's a lot of things. But anyway, next.
My boy!
Spring break.
Let's talk about Janela's spring break and how I wasn't there because I missed buying the tickets.
Spring break.
It was cool seeing the Rock and Roll Express team with Kerry Morton, and it was cool seeing Jordan and Nick Wayne and even Speedball Mike Bailey team up to face them, which I can't say anything about because I missed it.
You missed that one because it was like the second match, but
I was coming home from work.
I'm a mark for the Rock and Roll Express, obviously. It was cool seeing them and Ricky Morton hitting a Canadian Destroyer.
And I missed Mike Bailey.
And I know Jordan Oliver from my time when I used to backyard wrestle. A lot of us do. So it's cool just seeing Jordan and his journey and being like, wow, he's wrestling the Rock and Roll Express. What the fuck?
Wow, he's in Japan.
Yeah, like, wow, he's in Japan. Wow, he's doing this. Wow, he's doing that.
Yeah, he just went on, like a world tour or something?
Like, it's just, like, he teamed up with Johnny Cashmere really quick in the clusterfuck.
Yeah.
In tribute of Trent Acid. Like, it's just, like, wow. Jordan's doing these cool things, and Jordan's teaming up with Buddy Wayne's son.
I wish I, knew you when you were with Jordan, because, I always hear stories from you guys about him, and it just seemed like such a fucking cool dude.
Jordan was always a cool dude.
He seems so fucking nice.
He probably doesn't remember who the fuck I am, but it's okay.
I mean, that's fair enough. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
No, he just always, just from the stories I hear, he always seems super nice, so...
Yeah.
I wish I knew you guys a little bit sooner, but that's what it is. I mean, I feel like our age difference is enough that if I knew you any sooner, it might have been considered weird. Because, I mean...
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 25, you're 23, but, I don't know, how old were you when you were hanging out with Jordan?
15? Oh, I wasn't hanging out with him. He would just come to shows,
Well,
or we would go to shows.
That's what I mean, like when you'd see him at shows and stuff.
16, 17?
No, I mean, I guess 17. 17 still kind of would have been weird because I would have been 19. But, you know, like, definitely if I was, like, 18 or 19 hanging out with a 16-year-old, that's weird.
Yeah, what the fuck
That's fucking weird. 17's not much better, but, you know, again, that's a little bit closer in age, which seems so weird, but it just is. Nonetheless, yeah, that might have been kind of odd. But no, I mean, he's great. Like, just watching him wrestle, like, Jordan's fucking awesome. And I hope he gets, I mean, not that GCW isn't somewhere good and not that he's not making good money off of the indies, but, you know, I hope one day he ends up getting somewhere on TV where, like, he could have more exposure to people, because he'd be such a fucking fan favorite so fucking fast. Like,
go to AEW and team up with Nick Wayne.
That would be cool. That would be really cool to see,
the East-West Express.
I don't know, something happens where, like, Nick Wayne gets taken out from, like, Christian's group or whatever, and...
Edge and Christian reunite. Nick Wayne needs a tag team partner, because it ain't gonna be fucking Killswitch, and then Jordan comes out. That'd be wild.
I want to know what Christian's gonna do when Jack Perry comes back.
Yeah, there's unfinished business there still, technically.
He's gonna poop his pants.
Anyway, continuing to the next thing that happened on spring break, that was the wrong fucking call.
Joey, I'm blaming you. Because you booked this shit.
Joey should have won.
So yeah, Joey
and
versus
the Reign of Terror.
Blake Christian?
Yeah.
Versus Blake Christian. And
the Reign of Terror.
The match was fine.
The match went like 35 fucking minutes. It dragged on. Missy Hyatt turned on Joey, but...
She hit him with the Gucci bag.
Yeah, hit him with the Gucci bag, but Joey should have won.
Yeah, Joey definitely should have won. I'm blaming him for not putting himself over. Fuck you, Joe.
No,
I love you.
I'm blaming Brett Lauderdale for hanging out with too many WWE people this weekend.
Yeah, right?
Because he just did WWE booking.
But... I don't know. I wonder. I mean, there was
There's a whole thing going on with the. It seems like there's a story behind everything.
Yeah, because I don't know. Was it during? Because we're about to go into the clusterfuck.
It's during the clusterfuck. The whole Blake Christian
came out, talked some shit. Joey showed up. Effie showed up, and then Mance Warner showed up.
So it seems like
it might be like a fatal 4-way type of thing.
Because Effie and Mance Warner, we can talk about that too. That was at spring break. The I Quit match.
Yeah, the I Quit match was really fucking good.
Yeah, that was good.
Where basically Effie was like forced to say I quit because he wanted to save Ellie Cash, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was fucking...
Well, Mance has the call your shot thing, because he won the Do or Die Rumble, so he can have a challenge anytime, but there's unfinished business with Effie, and then Joey, there's unfinished business.
Which I think my favorite part about that whole I Quit match was them just relentlessly beating the shit out of each other over the head with a door.
Yeah.
Like, that was fucking great. Yeah, no, spring break was fun. Joey always puts on a good spring break, and he also puts on a good clusterfuck, because... Before we get into talking about this, I like the preference. Now, we were gonna stay up and watch the clusterfuck after Mania Night 1.
But the main event was 45 minutes long.
Yeah, the main event for Mania went very long, and we were very tired. And Dylan was like, there's no way I'm staying up, so we're going to bed, and we'll just watch the clusterfuck in the morning. And I'm like, okay. So we didn't watch this when it was happening. However, I kind of wish we did, because this was started at midnight.
And the
clusterfuck was the last thing.
Aja Kong was wrestling a fucking mascot. I don't know what
Shinton.
Okay. Wrestling that.
Shinton or Chinton.
Okay, wrestling that mascot at like 2 in the morning.
2 in the morning, because the clusterfuck's the last thing.
Nick Gage is wrestling.
Clusterfuck went on for like, what, an hour and a half?
There was 87 entrants.
87 entrants in this shit.
Nick Gage. The last 3 were Nick Gage, Microman, and how the fuck Yoshihiko, the blow up doll.
No, Yoshihiko's not a blow up doll.
Oh, the mannequin.
Yoshihiko is like a rag doll almost type of thing with like a baby doll face.
Yeah, the fucking rag doll from DDT. That was the final 3.
Yoshihiko took a fucking pizza cutter.
Yeah, this was at 3 a.m.
I remember Effie posted a picture watching it from the back on the TV of Nick Gage cutting open Yoshihiko and was like, "It is 3 in the fucking morning." And I'm just and Shinton, I can never remember. I feel so bad. I think it's Shinton though. Came out. And then an inflatable chicken costume,
God.
who I'm headcanoning as Mike Bailey.
It probably was.
There was a distinct, like, black mullet going on underneath
think
there.
about
I
it.
think that was Mike Bailey.
Mike Bailey himself was in it for like 7 seconds.
Yeah.
There was definitely a reason why.
I feel like that had to have been him.
This was
and I want someone to confirm it, because it just seemed right.
I kind of want to go back later.
And see if you could figure it out?
No. Because I've seen all the clusterfucks, and I remember you said the best one I've ever seen, because it was so random, was Spring Break 3, and all I remember from it was Sean Ross Sapp being in it, and I just remember watching it and being like, that fucking asshole is in it, which is really funny. But I want to go back and watch all the clusterfucks and just see how random they are, because they're always random, but this one felt really random. Yeah, I'm in the clusterfuck. I am out of the clusterfuck.
Fucking Emil, my god.
Oh man, I think
was Brian Zane ever in one?
Oh fuck.
Get Brian if he wasn't. Get Brian Zane in a fucking clusterfuck.
Man,
my god, I love that man with my whole fucking heart.
They should. We
do not accept Brian Zane slander on this podcast.
I saw Adam Wilborn from What Culture?
Mm-hmm.
Say, I'm sick and tired of seeing like KSI or IC Speed dressed up as the Prime Model. I should be the YouTuber next year as the Prime Model. So man, imagine like one of those fucking YouTubers from like Cultaholic, or like imagine Jack the Jobber, or even fucking Simon Miller. Like showing up, bro.
Simon's got experience.
Simon is a wrestler.
Simon's got experience. So honestly,
well, the thing is, the What Culture guys that are now the Cultaholic guys all have experience of running a wrestling promotion.
Yeah.
Because they ran WCPW.
Yeah.
We don't need to get into that drama. That's a lot of drama. But
I would love to see Simon as a Prime Bottle. That would be fucking hilarious.
Speaking of the clusterfuck, what did you think? So, I find it funny. So, I booked a match called the Clusterfuck, right? But because I knew it was going to be a clusterfuck, but the rules that I did were different than what Joey Janela's clusterfuck is, because the rules of Joey Janela's clusterfuck is it's Royal Rumble style, where 2 entrants start, and well, you don't know what the time is because it can go anywhere between 2 seconds to fucking 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Someone new enters, and there's 5 ways to be eliminated. Mm-hmm. Pinfall, submission, thrown over the top rope, leaving the building, which happened in this clusterfuck
multiple times,
or death.
Or dying. Yeah, or just dying. We did not see any deaths.
We did not. I thought Nick Gage would have killed Yoshihiko. Oh, Yoshihiko.
Yoshi. So say it with me. Yo. She.
He.
Ko.
Yoshihiko. Can never pronounce it. Anyway, no one died, but my clusterfuck was just a big multi-man scramble match where there's only one pinfall or submission in the ring. Maybe one day I will maybe just release the raw footage of that match, because there's some funny fucking moments in that match that lyssie got gems of.
Fucking Christ, man. I feel like we talked about this last week.
Did we talk about the clusterfuck? Maybe.
We might have. I think we talked about it because I remember saying about the fucking tent.
Oh, yeah.
Or the piss tent or whatever.
Anyway, but yeah, no, this clusterfuck was just really random.
Didi's already losing his mind over the room's getting darker.
Oh shit, he is.
Cause he just like peeked his head up. Like, I'm laying down right now, so I just saw his head peek up over the bed, and he's just like looking up at the ceiling of like, what the fuck is going on? It's not pitch black in here yet, by the way. It's just dimmed. We don't have any lights on either, which was a big mistake on our part, but whatever. He's fine. He's just very confused.
He's very
confused.
You can tell
right
he's
now.
very confused.
He's like, it was daylight 2 seconds ago. What is happening right now? He's looking around.
Yeah, he's a little shook.
Oh, there he goes. He's running.
He's a little shook.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I like the clusterfuck a lot. Mainly because, like, it quite literally just does not fucking matter. Nothing matters. It's fine. Everything's fine.
It was a nice way to end the whole indie events going on.
Indie Mania.
Yeah. And there was also the Punjabi prison match.
Which did not look secure.
No.
Did not look secure in the slightest.
But those were the only 2 matches on the clusterfuck, because this show started after night 1 of Mania at midnight, and what a random... The show's called the clusterfuck.
Yeah. And again, it was like an hour and a half long, if not more.
But I told Lyssie, I was like, I wouldn't even been mad if this was the only show we went to, because what the fuck?
I wish it was, and I wish that, like... But it also would suck, because if it was the only show we went to, we'd have to be going down to Philly for midnight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But, man... You get to see a lot, and people were there.
Yeah.
Well, there were a lot of people there, but...
People were going nuts for it, so...
Let's transition into what happened the day of the clusterfuck, but literally 12 hours before the clusterfuck, which
was NXT Stand and Deliver, which you just have written banger after banger.
Because it was a banger after banger card. You watched it.
Well, I was in and out of it because we put it on at work because it started at noon, and I went into work for 10 on Saturday. I worked 10 to 6. So I was at work, and we forgot, I think, because I definitely didn't fucking remember. So I think my coworker Mark forgot that it was on, and he went, oh shit, NXT's on, and just put it on the TV. So we missed the Braun Breaker match.
That was a really good fucking match.
But yeah, no, I mean, I was enjoying it when I was like peeking in and out.
What did you think of the main event?
What's the guy called?
Trick Williams.
And
Carmelo Hayes.
I like Trick Williams.
I
like him.
Fucking great.
No, that was a fantastic fucking match.
Did you see the triple threat?
What was the fucking triple? With the tall spot.
Obafem, Josh Briggs, and Dijak. The tall spot. Yes.
The tall spot. Yeah. I'm gonna be so fucking honest with you. I do not recall people's names. But
don't look directly in the sky, Dee.
Yeah, we saw that. And the funniest part was so, you know, I was at work, and my coworker's husband came in, who, you know, he comes in a lot, chit chat, talk about wrestling a lot. A lot of my coworkers love wrestling. So we had it on.
Big Bob.
And I just hear him going like, because it was when they went out into the audience, and definitely were out there for like 5 minutes out of the tank out.
They were going,
and
bro.
he's like, oh, so we're just not gonna pay attention to the rules anymore. All right, rules out the window. And I'm like, just don't even fucking think about it, Bob. When you think about the rules, it's less fun. Just enjoy it. Jesus fucking Christ, go get your tattoo.
Bro, Dee is losing his
fucking mind. He's running, man. He's running.
Dee's losing his shit over this right now.
But, yeah, no, I also was just fucking trolling him on Twitter, too, because he shared something about, like, Meltzer and Brian talking about a match that happened on Mania.
Oh, it was
I wasn't gonna go into detail about it because we're not talking about Mania.
We'll cover it really quick. We won't go into like what the match was. We won't give our opinions on the match, but it was Jay and Jimmy Uso's match, and Brian on the podcast was like, and next we had Jay versus Jimmy, and Dave goes, it was bad. Like Dave had to put it in there. We'll give our opinions on it part 2, but go ahead.
But yeah, I can't remember specifically what he fucking said, but he said something along the lines, sharing the tweet and saying like, listening to the Wrestling Observer is probably the only thing that was worse than that match.
Yeah.
And I commented on it and I said, as someone who has woken up to a fucking car on my goddamn fence more times than I can count, I can think of one other thing that's worse than that.
No. Never. Listening to the Wrestling
and he's
Observer
like, hey, now
podcast,
it's a funny story. And I'm like, I know it's a funny story, but my fucking God.
I hope one day a car lands on our fence so I can reenact it.
The amount of time that me and Anna, my coworker, the wife of Big Bob, my wife also, because I love Anna with all of my heart, a lot of times me and Anna share stories at work or will Snapchat each other, and just be like, this motherfucker listening to Jim Cornette again. Like, you left yesterday before Mania to go have a cigarette. Or I think you were pissed off about the fucking AirPods or something. And you were mad. You left to go have a cigarette.
I went to go have a cigarette. Oh, yeah, it was after the AirPods. Because I was like, this is bullshit. Why is it connecting?
And I wasn't paying attention at all. And you just left. And the next thing I know, Jim Cornette's screaming on our television.
Oh, yeah, I came back up and I started laughing because I just heard him in the background. I was like,
and so I sent the Snapchat to On, and I was like, Dylan went out for a cigarette. I'm stuck with this now. Like, and then I'm just fucking let it play, whatever. And she sent me a video of him, like, I guess Bob has 2, like, dual monitors set up, and he had Jim Cornette's podcast playing on his, like, the YouTube video, mind you, on the one monitor, RuneScape on the other.
That's funny.
And he's not even playing RuneScape. He's just staring at the YouTube video, which has no moving pictures like our podcast, just staring at the monitor, listening to Jim Cornette talk about something or another. And I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ, Bob and Dylan are literally the same fucking person.
Yeah.
The same fucking person. And honestly, I'd love to have Bob and Anna on here one day to talk about wrestling with us. And I would specifically need Anna because I am not about to get put in between you and fucking Bob talking about wrestling because it's a losing battle. Losing battle, and me and Anna can just sit here and talk about how cunty everybody is. So, yeah.
Yes.
Bob and Anna, if you're listening to this by chance,
let's get into celebrations.
Definitely would love to have you on here.
Let's celebrate people's wrestling careers.
Let's talk about the WWE Hall of Fame.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
We'll get to the grandiose in a second. Congratulations to all of them.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock got awarded a belt.
The Rock somehow making this about himself is just the most insane thing that he manages to be able to do.
So that was random. The U.S. Express getting inducted and making it a tribute about Bray as well was nice. Bull Nakano. I had a smile on my face the whole time. She looked beautiful, and I loved her, and she deserved it, and she liked my tweet.
Yeah.
That I said that she deserved it, and man, really good. She did a great job speaking.
Yeah, we weren't too sure. Just quite literally, we don't know her. So we weren't sure if she was gonna have like a very short speech just because of her English, if it wasn't that great or not. And no, she was able to convey everything she needed to convey. She said it beautifully. And like, Alundra Blaze, pretty much like you were saying, like kind of gave the rundown of her career.
Yeah.
So really all Bull had to do was go out there and just, thank and
everyone.
Say a couple things. Like, she was talking about how Dee Dee is watching Bret Hart on the TV. That is not what Bull Nakano was talking about during her speech. But, one of the things that stuck out to me was just saying, like, traveling was hard because I didn't really speak a lot of English.
Yeah.
But, wrestling doesn't have a language, and, like, that's the beautiful part about it. So, like, that was really that stuck with me. That was fucking awesome.
And she said that she would love to be Bull Nakano.
Yeah, if you are reborn, she would love to be reborn as Bull Nakano again for everybody. And, just absolutely beautiful, like, fantastic. My only gripe in it is I did see some people online complaining that the audience just wouldn't shut the fuck up.
I wanted to talk about that. That is one thing I disagree on, or I don't like about the Hall of Fame what they do now, because since WrestleMania went to 2 nights, they have to mix in the Hall of Fame right after SmackDown. Mm-hmm. I think the Hall of Fame should be the Thursday before SmackDown.
I think it should be a private event.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. It should be Thursday, and it should, if you want to do it at the Wells Fargo Center or wherever, like the nearest arena where WrestleMania is taking place, then do it. That is one thing, because you have the stupid fucking fans there that are there after SmackDown for the Hall of Fame, and they kind of did fuck up the order a little bit this year. They had Paul Heyman, the big guy, the fucking big name, go on first, and supposedly a lot of people left.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that is like a big gripe. But yeah, Bull's great. I love Bull. She deserves it. And also, let's talk about Thunderbolt Patterson. I think
what a wild guy.
I don't mean to offend anyone. I don't want to start controversy on this fucking podcast, but I think I am gonna revert to Christianity.
No, the fucking not.
No,
No,
but his
not.
speech made me. That speech was fucking brilliant.
Here's the thing. I am not a believer of God. I don't really follow any sort of religion. I mean, I claim to be an agnostic person. That if whatever happens, happens. I'm not gonna hold my breath on any of it, though. But, you know, like, the one thing that I can appreciate is, like, he spoke about it with passion.
Yeah.
You know, he spoke about it with passion, and that's really all you could ask. Is, like, I don't feel like he was being a dick about it. I don't think he was being a jerk about it. Like, he spoke with passion and love, and that's what it was.
He spoke like what he did.
Yeah, exactly.
Back in the day.
Yep.
He fought for the rights of the African Americans.
Yep.
The African American wrestlers. And that's good. And the best quote to come out of this, stop playing the race card.
Any races, really.
Yeah. Like, stop playing the race card. It was a brilliant fucking speech. It was really good. I loved how he said, I'm not going to take up too long. And then he goes about 20 minutes. Yeah. Which was really good, though. I never care how long they go on their speeches.
I do just know that there are going to be those fucking racist people that do take that out of context. Yeah. Though, and just say, like, oh, we'll see this, you know, iconic black man who fought for the rights of the black people, said to stop playing the race card, so y'all, and then say something racist probably. Yeah. Which isn't, I don't think that's what he necessarily meant to convey, and that what he meant was essentially like, don't just sit there and complain, go out there and make a change about it. You know? So.
Let's talk about the main one. Paul Heyman.
The guy.
What
the Philly guy.
What a fucking speech.
And if you don't agree with that,
you can suck my fucking dick. Oh man, Paul Heyman's speech, wild. Roman did a good job. Yeah. Inducting him.
Roman did a really good job.
Yeah, Roman did a good job. So
I love that Roman just went out there and told the whole world that he was shit-faced when he got his best piece of advice from Paul Heyman too.
Like, I was fucking.
And I also love how terrible timing they tried to censor the fuck words and the shit words, because when Roman said that, like, obviously they fucked up a lot with Heyman too. But when Roman said that, they didn't bleep out shit. They bleeped out faced. Yeah. I'm like, all right, we're all tired in this arena.
But it was such a good speech, and man, him putting on the trench coat and the hat and pulling.
I love when he pulled the phone out and he just went like, "Holy shit, this is a real one."
Yeah, this is a real one.
Or "Holy fuck," whichever one it was that he said.
But man, what a speech! He popped all the ECW boys and everything, man.
Like, Roman did a great job inducting him. I do still kind of wish a little part of me, Paul Heyman, just inducted himself.
Honestly.
And, like, gave his own induction speech, went to the back, came back out with the trench coat on or something. Like, I don't know, something fucking stupid.
But it was really good. Yeah. Like, even him talking about Punk and all the Paul Heyman guys. I mean, you can't avoid Brock Lesnar.
No, unfortunately.
You can't avoid it. And even like him going to Cody being like, I wish your father was here to see this too, and everything. And because that wasn't like a dig at Cody. That was like like Dusty always believed in me too type of thing. So like I'm proud, like I would have been proud, like great if Dusty was here, because he would have been proud. Like it was. Man, it was such
could have been a little bit of a dig, but
it could have been like a
was not legitimately a dig.
Yeah, it was one of those like
if the shoe fits.
Yeah, it's like one of those like like the way that you feel about Dusty is the same way I feel about Dusty. Of like I would want him here for like my crowning moment too, because Dusty gave Paul a job. Yeah. Like in WCW, like, but it's cool. Like, a lot of people don't know. If you do know, but a lot of people don't know. There is a reason why Roman Reigns did induct Paul into the Hall of Fame, and it's not because he's Roman's wise man. The whole Samoan dynasty is connected to Paul Heyman. The whole fucking thing. So it's just crazy. Like, I've heard stories firsthand from these people about Paul Heyman from back in the day. So it's just crazy. Also, it is officially fucking dark as shit now.
Yeah, it's dark. It is dark in Pennsylvania.
So if we end up just stop talking because the world ends and this is recording still and someone finds this, release it on our YouTube, please.
Yeah, it's already logged in on my phone.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ, who's on a motorcycle during the eclipse?
I hope
Go home!
I hope all the horses and cows are okay.
It's not like, I mean, looking outside the window, it's not crazy dark.
No. But it's gotten dark. It's like,
yeah,
it looks like it's about to rain.
Yeah, it's definitely dark in the room.
Like, I don't want to look in the sky, because you're not supposed to.
You're gonna go blind.
Yeah, you're not supposed
But
to.
I'm, like, looking through our window, like, I can kind of see above the trees a little bit, and it just looks like it's about to rain, which is weird. But, yeah, anything else you want to cover on the Hall of Fame?
No, just congratulations to all of them.
Well, let's jump on over to another Hall of Fame, the Indie Hall of Fame.
Indie Hall of Fame. We watched this yesterday.
We sure
Well, it
did.
happened yesterday. You had the likes of Trent Acid get inducted. The Briscoes.
Mm-hmm.
Who else got inducted? I'm drawing a blank. There's been so much that happened this weekend. There was a Mercedes Martinez.
Yep. I was like, I could not remember her name for the life.
Sabu was supposed to be inducted, but I'm gonna read the Brett Lauderdale tweet because it is the funniest fuck shit.
Jesus Christ, man! It's in true Sabu nation.
It's the true Sabu nation. In the true spirit of independent wrestling, Sabu has decided to keep his deposit and no-show the Indie Hall of Fame ceremony today. He accepted the booking and took the money, but doesn't want to get in the elevator to come upstairs. What a legend.
Oh, man. What a guy.
Who else got inducted? Steve Corino?
Yeah.
Got inducted. What would you think about some of these people getting inducted?
I mean, well-deserved. You know what I mean? I mean, my knowledge on independent wrestling is just a little bit more of recent people than, like, as time has gone on. Because, again, like, when growing up, I only ever watched WWE, ECW, and TNA. So, like, that was really it for me. But, I mean, just in general, like, of course the Briscoes needed to be inducted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And long overdue, but well-deserved nonetheless.
Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert was inducted. That was a big one for me because I'm an ECW mark.
Yeah. So...
I love that Missy Hyatt. It was a joke. Why out of all three ex-wives, Missy Hyatt is the one that always has to speak for Eddie Gilbert? That was funny as fuck.
Dude, they're putting her over so fucking hard during that, too.
Because a lot of people don't know, Missy Hyatt technically was, like, the first woman of wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, Missy Hyatt is a goddamn legend.
Like, they were like, why the fuck is Missy Hyatt not here? Put her in next year.
Missy Hyatt is a legend, so...
But, yeah, no. Really good stuff. Anything, like, specific you want to add?
No, I'm glad that I'm glad that they do the Indie Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Because I'm glad, like, they get their flowers, too.
Uh-huh.
Because, like, yeah, you can have your opinions on the WWE Hall of Fame and shit, but I'm glad that there's an Indie Hall of Fame, too, for all these talents, and they get their flowers and everything, because they deserve it, too. Like, fucking... I think Steve Corino said it best. They do it, like, indie wrestlers do it out of love. Like, they know that they're gonna get paid little to $20. That they're doing it for a specific reason, and that's the love of the business.
Yeah.
They're not doing it for money, so you gotta give them respect where respect's due. But on that being said, Lyssie, you're the host.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take this home. Wrestler of the week.
Seth Wiccan Rollins.
Seth freaking Rollins.
We're talking Seth. And we're talking Seth because, well, I love that bitch. But we're also talking Seth because there will be a lot of discussion about him on the next episode about Mania. So I feel like, without going too much into detail about Mania,
Seth was a major player for Mania this year.
Big part in Mania this year. So yeah, ask me some questions about Seth fucking Rollins.
When did you first get introduced to Seth Rollins?
I mean, definitely probably Shield.
Okay.
I wasn't around for too much of the Shield, but I remembered the Shield.
Would he be your favorite member of the Shield or no? Or would that be Mox?
Yeah.
So Seth is your favorite member?
Seth, Mox, then Roman, yeah.
Okay.
So Seth is top tier. I mean, favorite member, especially even outside of the Shield. If I were to say during Shield times who was my favorite, I honestly would have to go back and watch the whole Shield run.
For me, it would be Seth. Seth from the Shield to 2015 is my favorite era of Seth Rollins. Fucking God mode Seth Rollins.
I again am
I still like Seth Rollins.
It's been a long it's been a long time of a gap. So I remember Seth Rollins in the Shield, or Roman in the Shields, and then I completely forgot who the third guy was. And then I found out it was Mox when I came back to wrestling. And I was like, oh, that was the third guy. Because I could not remember who the fuck he was. Because I had no idea about anything about who the fuck Dean Ambrose was afterwards either. Yeah. I had no clue.
What's your favorite era of Seth Rollins?
See, I like his fashion statements of what he's doing now. But I really liked Monday Night Messiah, Rollins.
2015 Seth Rollins is my favorite, but if I had to pick another one, it would be the Monday Night Messiah, because it was really
what
good.
An asshole.
It was really good.
What a little dick.
I like gimmicks that are kind of taken from cult figures. Mm-hmm. It's because you could, if the right person doing it can make it work, CM Punk Straight Edge Society, Seth Rollins Monday Night Messiah.
It did remind me a lot of Straight Edge Society.
Yeah.
And I love Straight Edge Society Punk. So I feel that correlation just made me oh, okay, I like this guy because he reminds me of Punk. And I mean, I would agree with Punk with his call on commentary when he was saying, which again, not going too much into Mania, just a slight comment.
He's another version
that he's just a younger version of Punk.
Yep, he's a version of Punk.
So,
that eventual match that will happen will be awesome.
And then Punk's gonna get injured again and be out for a couple months.
No, that'll be until he faces Drew.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right.
What's your favorite Seth Rollins match? Fuck, I think I can't go much into it, but I think after last night, I think him versus Drew
was really good, but I do.
There's another one
it's been a minute since I've seen it, but I know I sent it to Mark. Which, by the way, Mark, if you're listening to this at all, did you watch any of those matches I sent you? Because I spent a long time putting them together. And I believe it was Tyler Black versus Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson.
That's a good one.
Awesome fucking match.
My favorite Seth Rollins match, fun fact, is from the Royal Rumble 2015. Him versus John Cena versus Brock Lesnar in a triple threat match.
I don't think I've seen it.
It's a really good triple threat match. For especially around that time in 2015 WWE. Also, favorite Seth Rollins moment when he cashed in at WrestleMania. Really good. Speak more about Seth Rollins. I don't know. Why do you like him? All this.
Well,
stuff.
Right now, again, I like him because he's cunty. I love the fucking fashion statements. I love that he's just this prestigious little fucking diva waltzing around. I don't give a fuck if he's a Jared Leto fucking Joker, whatever that people want to fucking call him. He does it so fucking well. And I think the thing with Seth Rollins is I feel at least from any gimmicks that I've seen thrown at him, any characters that he has, he always just does such a good fucking job, encapsulating it and running it, as far as he fucking can to the best that he fucking can. Personally, from just my experience of things that I've seen Seth Rollins do, and, you could throw your hat into this if you want, I don't think I've ever seen Seth Rollins as a character that I didn't like.
Yeah.
I feel he's never had a character where I'm this was not your best work.
I mean, him being Seth freaking Rollins is kind of cringy. But
I mean, the name line isn't really, great, but like
when he's serious, like when he's having promos with like Punk or Drew, it's good.
Yeah.
Like it's just a little cringy.
He can run his little yapper for days.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, fucking the Big Money Dovan suits was I was a rip off of Seth Rollins wearing the fancy suits all the time, and I dyed my hair like Seth Rollins.
I was debating about doing that.
So,
but I don't know if I should bleach my. I don't know. I also kind of want to do my hair like Kyrie Sane.
I always hit curb stomps like Seth Rollins too. So,
but yeah, no, I mean, there really isn't anything that Seth Rollins has done that I've not been a fan of. Like the closest that I will come to say is honestly just because I've been so over it, and I'm glad that we're moving to a new leaf or turning a new leaf now, is just the shit with Rock. Like, because it just turned into this fucking thing, and I've not been a fan of it as it's been going on. But I wouldn't necessarily fault Seth at anything like that. Like, that's like, he still did what he did, and he did very well at doing it. And he quite literally just, again, the same thing, like, took what he was given and fucking ran the full mile with it. So, like, and he did it wonderfully. So again, I'm not really gonna fault him at that for kind of getting roped into it. But, yeah, no, I mean, even him with like from Cody Rhodes coming back and his consistent story with Cody.
Yeah.
Throughout this time frame, like, fucking awesome. And also, like, I love them as besties, and I want them to stay besties. So, Seth, don't be a little prick. And
no, there's unfinished business. Seth's never beaten Cody. So.
Yeah, and that's fine and dandy. It could be a friendly competition thing. I don't want him to be mean to him. I want them to be friends.
No,
when
Seth's got to beat Cody eventually.
He could beat him, and they could still be friends. It's fine. No. I like them as besties.
I know a thing about the term friendly competition and what happens.
Someone on Twitter said Cody has collected so many boyfriends in this past year. Like.
Yeah, they were all out there.
Yeah, and all his boyfriends out there with
We'll get into that, but...
We'll get into that tomorrow.
Yeah.
But, like, I was just like, oh my god, you're so alright. But, yeah, no, I mean, again, it's just that they've never thrown something at Seth that he can't fucking turn into gold. So, and, I mean, on top of that, he's just fantastic in ring. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm always, like, it's tough because, like, you know, I'm very specific about certain things that I like in wrestling that deems to be, like, my personal favorite type of style, like flippy, tricky, stuff like that. But predominantly, you know, I'm always drawn more to the character. Like, obviously everyone gets their first initial reaction to the character and if they like them or not type of thing. So, I mean, Seth does some cool stuff, but he's not doing, like, the overly indie, flippy fucking bullshit that I'm normally drawn to when I look to in a wrestling match. But, like, I watch Seth's matches for Seth. Because I like Seth. You know what I mean by that? That makes any fucking sense? Are you listening to me at all?
Yeah. I was making sure we weren't missing anything on Twitter.
Yeah, so yeah. I liked him before really, like, fully loving what he does in the ring. What do you got to say about Seth?
I think I said everything that I possibly could have about Seth. I've always enjoyed Seth. I never had a complaint about Seth. Seth's always been one of those guys I've always liked. And, I mean, I've taken influence from him. So, I really can't say much. He's an influential figure.
Yeah.
Especially on, like, this generation's wrestling. So, thank you, Seth.
Yeah.
But that it?
I think that's it.
We don't have to do our normal outro because we'll do that in part 2. So I think the best thing to do for this outro part is stay tuned for part 2. It will be out Thursday. And it will be us reviewing WrestleMania 40, night 1 and night 2. Lyssie, take us out of here.
What am I saying to take us out of here?
Just say goodbye and fucking end the thing.
All right. Well, bye guys. I guess we'll see you next time.